Hey guys, it's me, Charlie. I'm going to be making a pie, but in cups. And I'm inspired by this cake here. It's a chocolate cream pie. And I'm going to try to make it by scratch the best I can with a few boxes of pudding that you buy at the grocery store and some evaporated milk. So I'm going to be making them in cups, some clear cups. So let me show you that next. Alright, so this is what you're going to need. You're going to need some Oreos or a generic brand of Oreos. This is just some that I got at the Safeway grocery store, and it's double cream stuffed. Cremos, I guess they call it, instead of Oreos. And it was on sale for $1, so they taste good, and I like them. What we're going to be using is actually just the cookie and not the cream. We're going to put that to the side and put it into something else, I guess, or just eat it or whatever. I've already got some here, and I'm going to add some more because these are actually some Oreos that I had crushed earlier. I had a little bit left over from another package. So you're going to need some Oreos, and you're going to mix in some sugar. You'll need a whisk. You'll need 5 tablespoons of butter, evaporated milk, water, a measuring cup, and probably a spoon. So that's what you'll need. Alright, I forgot to mention also, you're going to need a small little container to reserve at least about a table, I think it's about a tablespoon. Let me look at my recipe. Yeah, about a tablespoon of your Oreo mixture. And you're also going to want to melt down your butter. That's the 5 tablespoons of butter. And then get your favorite package. I have 2 of these boxes. I have 1 package of chocolate cream pudding. It's kind of very moussey-like. And I also got a white chocolate mousse mix. I need those 2 ingredients in order to make my chocolate cream pie that I'm going to be using in a cup. So these are the cups that I'm going to use, are these little clear cups. And that's because you can see right through them, the way we're going to pile it on. Then if you want, before you serve it, you could reserve some of this cookie mixture and put a can of, just buy one of those spray cans of whipped cream, and then on the very top of that you can go ahead and add to it. So it doesn't have to be very fancy, it'll just look fancy when you put it together. Alright, so I got my cookies broken apart, and I'm going to go ahead and add my 5 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to whisk this together, and this should be the right amount. You'll need approximate about, I think it's a dozen cookies that you're going to open up. You can either use the cream if you want. And that's actually much tastier, so if you use the cream, 10 cookies would be good. But if you do 12 cookies, that will be fine. So I suggest just take a dozen cookies out and crush it all together. This does not have the cream in it. Now this mixture is actually, see how it's nice and crumbly like that? That's how we want this. We don't want it to be packed. Alright, so now, God, it smells good. I'm going to take 1 heaping tablespoon, put it in my cup here, and I want to break that up. Maybe I'm going to take a little bit more. That's just 1 big giant tablespoon. Okay, turn that sideways, I can't. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side, and I'm going to, let me get rid of the rest of this butter. That butter tastes so good, so of course you got to use it all. And I'm going to go ahead and make up the pudding mix. Alright, so this is 2 boxes of the chocolate mousse filling. It's like a pudding. And this is 2 boxes here. And then what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to open up a can of evaporated milk. And you're going to need to use some of your bottled water. And we're going to combine it together. So let me go ahead and open this up. And if you open up both sides, it'll pour out faster. If you open up one side, it'll take longer. In a clean container, see how fast that pours? Put in the entire can. And then with your bottle of water here, you're going to want to pour the bottled water into the evaporated can just a little bit, because you want to get up, you want to be able to rinse out the rest of the evaporated milk that's in the can, because evaporated milk is very concentrated. Actually, I poured the whole cup in there, so the whole thing's mixed in here. It's concentrated, so you'll notice when it comes out, it's going to be white still. See? It's still white. So you're getting up all that residue that's in there of the evaporated milk. Alright. So we now have 1 cup of water and 1 cup of milk. And you don't have to mix that because it already mixed when it was already in there. Now you're going to want to reserve some of this mixture. So I'm going to go ahead and measure out 1 cup of this mixture, and I'm going to mix it in here. Pour it in slowly. This smells really good. If you decide to make your own pudding, use a baking chocolate cocoa powder, and that's actually what I could smell in this mixture. So it's a really good one, obviously. Alright. And that way you can make your own homemade completely without having to buy any extras like I did. Alright, so this is so thick. Now I'm going to want to mix this really well. God, that smells so good. Look how thick that is. Yummy. That smells so good. Mix this for about a minute. And the reason why you want to get up all the parts that are dry. This is going to be nice and tasty when it's put together. Alright, so I'm going to put this to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and make my white chocolate mousse mix. Alright, so sorry I was not able to record that, but the 1 cup of water plus the 1 can of evaporated milk, what I poured in there was 1 cup in the beginning when you first saw me mix this together, and now I poured in the other cup. So this will continue to add a little bit more pudding mixture to your bowl here by doing this. So I need to mix this up so it'll thicken up now, because it was very watery. The last part that you saw me leave off at was extremely thick, and we didn't want it that thick. The whole mixing process should take you about 1 minute and 30 seconds. You don't really need to be mixing too long. It's already a pre-mix package of pudding, so nothing special, but it smells special. And then I have reserved here some of the water and the evaporated milk. I got 1/3 of a cup saved in this little plastic container here. I'm going to pour it back in the measuring cup so I can use this to fill my little cakes here. Now let me show you the white mousse mixture, chocolate white mousse. Alright, so here's another bowl. I got 1 box of white chocolate mousse mixture, and I got my fork. You can see it's still dirty from the last chocolate mix. I'm going to slowly pour in my evaporated milk and water, and I may need to add some more water to this. You don't really have to clean off your spatula after you're done, because it's just going to add a little hint of color to your white mixture. Not a big deal. You can clean it if you want your mixture to be pure white. Alright, so now I know I'm going to need to add a little bit more water. Now this part that we're doing, we need to mix this for probably about 3 minutes. And this will thicken up. And as it thickens, I'm going to need to add a little bit more of the water if needed. I'm not sure. It's already thickening up. Oops, a piece of chocolate just came out of that. Maybe you should clean this, because it may end up tanning up your white chocolate mousse mix. This is looking good. I gotta switch hands. Yeah, so you just gotta do this for 3 minutes. Now we're gonna be layering this. The first layer that's gonna go on the bottom of your cup is actually the cookie Oreo, which is my Creamos. But your Oreos that you're going to be using, you put the first layer, like tablespoon on the bottom. Then you add 1 tablespoon and a half of this, or just enough to cover the sides. Then you want a big heaping couple of tablespoons of the dark or your regular chocolate mixture in the middle. And then again, cookie crumbs, tablespoon, maybe tablespoon and a half. Then your white chocolate mousse mix. And then you can go ahead and either leave it with the top off, or excuse me, leave the very last layer so you can add whipping cream out of a can or homemade whipping cream, and then sprinkle some of your Oreos on top. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to add the whipping cream at the end if needed. Whoever wants the extra volume in there of calories, which is tasty. Alright, this is nice and thick. Alright, so let me go ahead and put this to the side and start doing the layering and show you that next. That was so good. Okay, you guys didn't know it, but it took me like 5 minutes to get back to this next part. It's because I was licking the spoon in one of the bowls. Okay, so now if you guys start to slip and fall while I'm doing this, it's because I couldn't find my tripod and I had to make up something, and hopefully it'll stay. Alright, so here is the crushed cookies and butter mixture with or without the Oreos, the cream part, and your little cups here. I'm going to try to do the best I can in front of you. That's 1 tablespoon. You know what? I'm going to add 2 tablespoons. Alright, 2 tablespoons of delicious crust on the bottom. So let me do that quickly. 1, 2. You're going to need about 7 of these plastic cups that you could buy at the grocery store, or if you have a dollar store or Dollar Tree, go ahead and buy yourself a nice clear cups. And the reason why you want clear cups is because you want to be able to see. Plus, when I have a mixed drink, I want to be able to see my mixed drink. So if I use plastic cups, it's nice to be able to do that instead of getting out my fancy martini glasses. Alright, so 2 tablespoons on the bottom. And we have enough left over for the middle that we're going to use probably about a tablespoon. Alright. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add some of this white chocolate mousse. It's nice and thick. And I'm going to kind of throw it. Wow, it's real thick. And throw it on the bottom. And got to be careful not to move this around because you'll end up moving those layers of cookies everywhere. Now as this layers, be careful not to hit the sides too much. As this layers, it's going to get a little heavy. And it'll compress a little bit better. I hope I'm doing this in front of you guys. Okay. They're looking a tiny bit sloppy here. But it's about 1 tablespoon. You know, you probably should just use 6 of these cups. That way you have a little bit more of this frosting. Or not frosting, white chocolate mousse mix. I'm making a mess out of that one. You know what, I'm going to put my finger in this. Alright. And we got 2 more to go. You know what I might do is, I might make up a little bit more of this frosting mixture. There we go. Okay. And now, let's add the chocolate pudding. And you want lots of this. And you're going to need to refrigerate this probably an hour. And the longer the better. It'll be nice and thick. Now I'm not sure how much to put in the cup, so I'm just going to put a little bit as I go and then go back to it if I need to. So far I'm adding 3 tablespoons per cup. I have a lot of this mixture. This chocolate smells good. Whoops, got some on the outside. And see, I'm not doing a beautiful job, I'm just doing a quick sloppy job. And it's gonna look okay when it's done. I'm just gonna do a little bit more. Alright, got a couple more here to go. And then I don't have to go back to it and add more. This is just something that you're going to do and figure out on your own how much you might need. But you know what? When you go to try it, so tasty. And then you get to lick the bowl. There's no eggs in this recipe. So for those of you that are afraid of eggs, raw eggs, don't worry. Alright, now I won't show you the rest of that, so I'll be right back. Alright, perfect. So I put in the last layer, and then I went ahead and sprinkled some of that leftover we had here, and I did the rest of them as well. I refrigerated this for a couple of hours, and now it's time to eat it. So this looks just like the box version of the chocolate cream pie, and I just made mine in layers. And look at these layers. So you got your chocolate, your crust, which will harden, your cream mixture here, your chocolate cream, more of the crust, Oreo crust that's going to harden because of the butter, and then more of that white mousse. And then if you want, you could actually put some spray can of whipping cream on the very top here, and then add some of the chocolate at the end, or if you have anything else to add to it. So that is dessert for tonight and whenever I want. So if you guys have any comments, any suggestions, if you'd like to rate the video and subscribe, I guess I'll see you guys on the next video.